the IFL's championship game to date. A lot of upset wins. Two teams playing their best football. The best teams standing are here today. Game-winning drive. When I score, I go for 2. I don't believe in overtime. Put your hands up in the sky.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you inside the Tucson Convention Center here in Tucson, Arizona. Your Northern Arizona Wranglers preparing to take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. A good one down south here tonight, Ed, in Pima County, and it should be an exciting Western Conference matchup. And the Tucson Sugar Skulls still riding high from last week's triple overtime victory in Glendale over the Rattlers.
Yeah, James and folks, that was a crazy game. They were down 34-9 in the third quarter.
Wow.
Went on a 23-0 run, and then they just felt like they could come back and win this football game, and doggone it if they didn't. It took 3 overtimes, but 5 uncharacteristic turnovers from the Rattlers doomed them, including one in that third overtime. Dalton Steed throws an interception. We'll run some highlights later, but still, that was a crushing loss, their third straight loss for the champions, and that gave new life for Tucson. They felt like they've won 2 of 3 matchups against the Rattlers this year, so they know they're feeling good tonight that they feel they can knock off the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and, of course, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, they're going to feel really good here tonight inside their own building, back in front of their home crowd, and the Wranglers going to have a big task at hand here tonight against Jorge Reyna and that Tucson Sugar Skulls offense. Coach Back really has this team playing well at the right time of the season.
He does. Reyna threw 5 touchdowns last week up in Glendale against the Rattlers, so you know he's got supreme confidence going against this Wranglers defense tonight, so we'll see what happens. This is going to be a great matchup tonight. We've got some lineup changes for the Wranglers. We'll get into that as the pregame show goes on, but we are excited again for the Wranglers and the Sugar Skulls to get it on down here in Tucson.
They're going to be getting it on here in about 31 minutes from now. We're going to take a brief commercial timeout, and then when we return, we will visit with Arlen Bruce IV. Great to catch up with him a little bit earlier and get his thoughts on the Wranglers season and tonight's ball game against those Sugar Skulls. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more of the pregame show after the break.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon, founder and CEO of Simon Med and founder also of Simon One. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the process for Simon One. It is super easy. You either call or chat online to schedule. When you arrive, you can just check in on your phone. The examination generally takes about 30 minutes. It can be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. It's non-invasive, no needles, no preps. When you're done with your exam, you can expect the results to be done in about 24 to 48 hours. You can expect a video chat to be set up to review your results within about a week. Super easy.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi folks, here are your drinks.
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light?
I forgot to play the song.
Thanks, LL Cool J.
I got a guy who can fix this.
We welcome you back to the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. James Spooby coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. Big game tonight against the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Ed, a young man who has really come on here in the past few weeks for the Wranglers, has been Arlen Bruce IV, making some dynamic catches over the past couple of weeks.
Dynamic catches, dynamic kickoff returns, 3 kickoff returns in 4 games for Arlen since becoming a member of the Northern Arizona Wranglers. So he has come in and just exploded on offense and special teams.
Arlen, welcome to the program. We appreciate you joining us here. Tell us about the season so far. Obviously not the result or the record that we all desired at the beginning of the season when we saw you at training camp, but just tell us how things are going and what the overall mood in the locker room is.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, man, it's been a crazy year. It's been a little bit disappointing, but I don't think the mood in the locker room has changed as far as players. You know, we all are grateful for the opportunity that we have every single day to play the game that we love, because a lot of us, you know, we're doing jobs that we really didn't want to do before we came here. We're just training and balancing that. So I think the locker room, we're just eager to get another win. And I think a good thing that we do is we just look forward to the next play, keep our heads up, and stay together.
Arlen, talk about your road to come to the Northern Arizona Wranglers. How did you become a member of the Wranglers? Talk to us about that.
Right. So I heard about the IFL. You know, I had some difficulty trying to get on a team for the past couple of years. I had some things happen. So I hadn't played in the game since 2022. So I have a friend of my dad's who knew Coach Burley, and I had heard about Coach Burley. I had seen him on the cover of the Arena video football game back in the day. So I knew about him. But he got in contact with him, and then Coach Burley, you know, started kind of recruiting me, and we built a relationship from there. And then I signed with the Wranglers.
Arlen, Ed and I have talked a lot in the past about players in the indoor football league that really have a hunger for this game. It's not easy. It's not all glitz and glamour, especially in the indoor football league, as you continue to live out that dream of playing football at the professional level and ultimately where all of us are trying to get to, the NFL. What is it inside you that drives you to continue to try to get better and really excel and try to progress through this football dream that we all have?
I think it's just the love that I have for this game every single day. You know, a lot of people, you know, they play a sport and they'll say that they love the game, but, you know, when circumstances aren't really what you want them to be and you're facing adversity, that will really tell you the type of person you are or how much love you truly have for the game. And really just my whole life, I've dealt with a lot of adversity. So I think that's really built me up for not only this moment earlier in the season. I had pulled my hamstring. You guys probably didn't even know I was on the team. I had pulled my hamstring twice. So that set me back, and then I had to stay strong mentally because I knew my time would come. So I think just fighting adversity over my entire life has really helped me prepare for this moment.
Arlen, with that adversity, how did that make you stronger, knowing that you're pursuing your dream, but still some pitfalls and there's some roads that you have to travel that you might not want to travel injury-wise, and just the road that took you to get to the indoor football league? How has that made you stronger as a man?
I think football like you said, it shapes you as a man. From the time I started playing when I was in second grade, tackle football, I've learned just really a lot about how to be a man, and really through football, you know, showing up for your team can equate to showing up for your family when you're older, and just the will to keep going when things are tough. And I think even beyond this sport, you know, people are fighting real adversity. You know, you see people dealing with traumas, with loss in the family, with war. Like, we get to play a game every single day for fun. So I'm just grateful that, you know, God has given me these abilities to be able to play. And, you know, we fight adversity, but this is a game we get to play at the end of the day. I have love for the game, but people are fighting real life stuff out here.
Arlen, you are so right, especially in this day and age, literally this day and age that we're having right now. Tell us the bond between your brothers on the Northern Arizona Wranglers. How are you guys able to form that bond, not only on the football field, but off the field as well, maybe when you get to spend some time together?
I think anytime you're around anyone and you're going through what seems like a difficult stretch of time, I mean, only winning one game, I think that's really just bonded us together. just in every single aspect that you can think of, whether that's communication, we've learned how to communicate more. We've learned how to, what we can learn from each tape. Like when you're winning, I feel like when you're losing, you learn more than when you win, because you're like, okay, this is what I should have done to win. I hate this feeling of losing so much that next time I go out there, I'm not going to make the same mistake. And I think, like I said, just relying on each other every single snap and saying, look, we don't want a repeat of what's been going on. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot early in the game. We have to start fast. And I think just having that bond, and then a lot of us didn't come together until the middle of the season, which hurts, not having that communication, not having the same quarterbacks. But yeah, I think we're definitely getting closer every single day for sure.
Arlen, talk about quarterbacks. Ramon Atkins has come in and he's just revitalized this offense. What is it about him that makes him so good, and the relationship and the bond that you're building with him?
I'd say the thing about Ramon is that he's a leader vocally and just physically. Like the things that he says and he preaches about, he's gonna go and do. Everybody respects him. He takes command of the offense. The offensive line listens to him. That's hard. Not every quarterback has respect from the entire team. And I feel like that Ramon, he came in the middle of the season, and, he was teaching before. And I just have a lot of respect for him to keep working on his craft while he was doing that, and come in here and then be great for us.
Arlen, anyone can go and look up the stats on the Indoor Football League website to see the number of touchdowns and the number of receiving yards, kick return yards you had this season. But tell us about Arlen Bruce IV off the field. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? And then what does an off season look like for you?
Right. In my spare time, I just like to enjoy spending time with my family, man. If you would have asked me a few years ago, it probably would have been a different answer. I feel like I've changed a lot the past couple of years, and that's a credit to my faith. And I believe that Jesus has changed me as a person, and then my entire family. I've seen it, and just pulled my family away from different addictions and things like that. So I'd say I just love spending time with my family, whether that's fishing, whether that's reading, playing basketball. I have two younger brothers, and the one right below me, the middle child, he thinks he's better than me. So every time I go back home, it's like we're having that 1v1 to see if I've gotten better than him. He's always been the hooper of the family. So
once a competitor, always a competitor.
Always.
Arlen, I remember when we first met you a couple weeks ago, when we first saw you, you said, I'm going to do some special things out on the football field. And you have done that. Has it really come to you that you've made that much of an impact this quick with the Wranglers?
I wouldn't say that I really think about it, because honestly, I thought I would have liked to think that I would have been making an impact from week one, but I believe in God's timing. Like I pulled my hamstring, and then I tried to come back too fast, pulled it again, was out for another couple weeks. So I wouldn't say that I think about it too much, because we still have 5 more games to go, and I like to stay consistent, man. So the same things that have been happening, I expect to keep happening.
His timing is always perfect, Arlen, and great stuff to hear from you right there. Looking at tonight's game against the Tucson Sugar Skulls, they were able to rally last week in a overtime win over the Arizona Rattlers. What kind of challenge does this team pose to your ball club here tonight? Yeah,
they have a great defense, man. They played a great game. Watch that game. They have a lot of physical DBs. They play a lot of man, and they have a great D-line as well. So this week will just be about winning our one-on-one reps, really. And then, the O-line just giving us some time, and then running the ball hard. So really just all facets of football, taking care of the football, making sure we go down and score, and taking care of our defense.
Arlen, for you, how critical are you when you watch film on yourself? How critical are you of the plays that you don't make and the plays that you do make?
I'd say I'm pretty critical of myself. Even today, I thought that I didn't have as good of a practice as I would have liked to have. And, my teammates, they're like, man, you had a good practice, like you're good. But I hold myself to a high standard. If there's a route, even if I didn't get the ball thrown my way and I feel like I didn't finish till the whistle blew and I didn't get hands off all the way completely, I'm going to be pretty strict and strict on myself and make sure I correct it for the next practice.
Arlen, what would you say, final question for me, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself as a football player this season?
Something I've really learned, me personally, coming from two Division I schools, two pretty big Division I schools. It just showed me how I really love the game, but guys who are less fortunate to not have as many resources, whether that's, not having a training like food table to get breakfast, lunch, dinner. Being here just makes me grateful for every single situation, cause I talked to some of my teammates about experiences they had in college, and some of them are like, dang man, you had it made. And it's like, in a way it seems like that, but I'm just very grateful to meet different people with different experiences to give me perspective and give me motivation, if that makes sense.
Wide receiver and kick returner extraordinaire Arlen Bruce IV joining us here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. Arlen, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight against those Tucson Sugar Skulls, and we'll see you inside the Tucson Convention Center a little bit later today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sounds good.
An absolute pleasure to catch up with Mr. Arlen Bruce IV, a young man who has not only been very effective in the wide receiver game for the Wranglers, Ed, but in the kick return special teams game as well.
Oh, yeah. 3 and 4 games with the Wranglers. He's got 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns. That's crazy.
Unbelievable. Arlen Bruce IV has really come on here, and what a great young man. It was great to get to know him a little bit earlier this week.
Oh, yeah. Solid young man and just a great addition to the football team. We were texting with Coach James about it. He just loves what Arlen Bruce IV brings to the Wranglers organization, and we just hope that we can keep him around for another season or two and see these young men season and continue to grow and mature at the wide receiver spot, also at the kickoff return spot, as JP mentioned.
That's exactly right. We're going to step aside, take a brief commercial timeout, and when we return, we should have a little bit more action on the field from you. We're also going to have some stuff from down field level as the Wranglers get ready to make their way out here onto the playing surface. Stay with us, and if they start to come out early, we will make sure and get you right back to the live action. Stay with us here on the Wranglers pregame show, coming to you live from the Tucson Convention Center in Tucson.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Simon, founder and CEO of Simon Med, and founder also of Simon One. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the process for Simon One. It is super easy. You either call or chat online to schedule. When you arrive, you can just check in on your phone. The examination generally takes about 30 minutes. It can be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. It's non-invasive, no needles, no preps. When you're done with your exam, you can expect the results to be done in about 24 to 48 hours. You can expect a video chat to be set up to review your results within about a week. Super easy.
Discover more Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino.
Hi, folks. Here your drink.
Where having fun means racking up reward credits with the Caesars Rewards loyalty program that can be redeemed for food, free play, hotel stays, and more. Not only here in the city of Maricopa, but also at more than 50 Caesars properties coast to coast. From Harrah's Las Vegas to Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. What are you waiting for? Play for All at Harrah's Auction Casino, the official sponsor of Play.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light? Light? Oh my.
We welcome you back inside the Tucson Convention Center. The Wranglers are on the field getting ready to take on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. And Ed, if they turn the lights up here in just a minute, we'll get the folks at home a little bit more view of what's going on the field here. We got the Sugar Skulls intro video being played right now. And we'll keep our eye on the field as things are getting ready to ramp up here between the Wranglers and the Sugar Skulls.
This is going to be a good game. We always know it is when Tucson and Northern Arizona do battle, and tonight will be no exception. Northern Arizona is, of course, trying to move their record to 2-10.
Yes.
You know, it's not been an ideal season, as we talked to Arlen Bruce IV about it, but still, this is the best 1-10 team. We say it all the time. This is the best 1-10 team you will see in the Indoor Football League. But they're always game, and you know it's going to be a physical game tonight. Who's going to be the more physical team? That team has a better shot of winning tonight, whoever that team would be.
You're exactly right, Ed. As you see the Wranglers right down there on the field here, getting to witness the Tucson Sugar Skulls intro video as they get ready to come out here onto the field. In front of their home crowd after what we mentioned a little bit earlier was a outstanding 3 overtime victory last week against the Rattlers up in Glendale.
And that just shows the power of the Indoor Football League. You're down 25 points in the third quarter, and you're never out of a football game. If you can get a score, get a 2-point conversion, get a deuce afterwards, that's a 10-0 run. But for them to run up 23 straight points, to go from 34-9 to 34-32, again, that game gets close. Then they go score for score. Turnovers really killed the Rattlers last week, 5 of them, and they capitalized on them. Tucson did, and they got the victory, got out of Glendale, got their second victory over the defending champions. But Northern Arizona knows they're going to be in for a stiff test tonight. It's going to be a physical game. We know these Arizona matchups always are, and we'll see what happens, whether we see Ramon Atkins start tonight or whether it's Caleb Lowe. We'll see whoever gets to start tonight, but it's going to have to be some scores. You got to get scores, physical, turn the football over, convert on third downs. Everything we preach every single week during the Indoor Football League season is going to happen for Northern Arizona tonight.
Yeah, you know, so many times this year the Wranglers have been right on the doorstep. We've talked about it with Arlen Bruce. We talked about it with Hitstick Kearney. We've talked about it with almost the entire team, and they so feel like, Ed, they are right on the cusp of greatness. But unfortunately in this league, you're judged on your wins and losses.
You are, but again, 1-10, we see Nolan Suso had 2 big touchdown runs last week. It was a crazy game last week against San Diego. We get a blocked field goal attempt right there, and it just goes crazy. That was the one Malik Saunier picked up and ran back, but it got called back because of a penalty. But still, great special teams play. Again, that's why the Indoor Football League is so special and it's so fun to watch, because it's so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. As we take a look at Tucker Welch, our Director of Communications, giving us a field-level look at the Wranglers.
How about that look right there, courtesy of Tucker Welch? We'll have to see if we can get him to turn his phone on his side there. There's Michael Hall Jr. on the field as you see the video being ran down there by the Tucson Sugar Skulls. There we go, Tuck.
Good, Tuck.
Great stuff right there. Getting you field level on the field, and
I love it. Ryan,
unprecedented access here,
the
courtesy of our Director of Communications.
The brothers Ryan Atkins and Ramon Atkins right there.
Yes.
I love it.
Fantastic stuff. And you can really get a sense of the excitement here inside the Tucson Convention Center. Ed, we talked about it earlier. We love making this trip down here every year. Not only because it's a little bit closer for us to the Valley of the Sun, but it's also a great time every time we come. Let's send it over to our public address announcer for tonight's national anthem. An outstanding rendition of our national anthem. And Ed, if you can believe it, we're about 6 minutes away from kickoff here inside the TCC. And they're going to fire up the lights here in a moment. And we're going to get the Sugar Skulls and the Wranglers underway here in just a little bit. Your final thoughts as we get ready to send folks over to the IFL Network for the call of tonight's ball game by Floyd Simmons and Nick Davila.
They're going to have a great call. This is going to be a fantastic football game. Again, this Arizona rivalry, it really does bring the best out of these three football teams when they do battle. Tonight, of course, is Tucson and Northern Arizona. I'm looking for playmakers for Northern Arizona on offense, special teams, and defense. Michael Hall's going to have to kick really well. Arlen Bruce IV, he's going to get kickoff returns. I'm pretty much imagining that he's got to be as effective as he's been through the 4 or 5 games he's been here. Get some really good kickoff returns. Get a couple for a touchdown tonight. That'd be nice if Arlen can go for his 4th or his 5th kickoff return for a touchdown. But Ramon Atkins has got to throw touchdowns. He didn't throw a single one last week. He's got to go aerial. It's good to have a good running attack. It's good for him to run for 2 touchdowns and Nolan Suso to run for 2 touchdowns. But they got to get their aerial attack going with Deshaun Stoudemire and Kobe Smith, Marlon Cook, Arlen Bruce IV, and others. There's so many weapons they've got to throw the football to, so make it happen.
Exactly right. The Wranglers have to also play really good defense here tonight, hopefully force Jorge Reyna into some uncomfortable positions and maybe make him throw a few errant passes that will ultimately end up as interceptions.
Yes, and also when you're in the red zone, you've got to convert.
Yes.
You only get a certain amount of red zone possessions, so when you get those, you got to punch them in for 6. 3's good, but 6 is even better.
6 is definitely better. Just a minute after 6 p.m. local time here. And once again, we encourage you to make your way on over to the IFL Network to catch the call of tonight's ball game with Mr. Floyd Simmons and Nick Davila on the call. We'll be right back here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers YouTube channel at halftime for our halftime show. And then, of course, we'll be right back following the conclusion of tonight's ball game for the post-game wrap-up here live from the Tucson Convention Center. For my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, I'm James Poovey saying so long. Have a great game. Enjoy that first half. And we will see you folks right back here at the conclusion of half number 1 inside the Tucson Convention Center. Stay with us and join us at the half. Enjoy the first half of the ball game, and we'll talk to you folks at halftime.